Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury, and today we have got a great review for you. This is for Jake the Yuppie. I recently met Jake the Yuppie in Melbourne, and it's great that I now get a chance to do a review. Now, I really like the guy, and I had to distance a little bit because I wanted to tell him the truth. Let's run the intro and let's hear the story. Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury on the Poor Pluta channel. Today we're doing a paid review for Jake the Yuppie. This is paid review 23 QB 45. Let's start the review. Hi Arch, I just sent through $75 for a paid wristwatch review and to say thank you for all the laughs and lessons you've given me. I'm 29 and live with my missus in inner city Melbourne. I'm from a working class family, but I've worked hard to build a well-paying professional career. I got seriously into watches about 2.5 years ago, and I'm trying to gradually build a collection that holds value and includes icons instead of shitters and hype pieces. I think my collection is at a crossroads on where to go, on where to go next, which is why I seek an audience with the Pontiff. My collection includes the below. If you don't mind, please keep the pieces to yourself. But I thought it's important context. Keep them to my... Come on, don't be like this, man. I'm not showing your name or anything. I just want to show it to the viewers. Our viewers, they want to see your collection, man. They want to see it. They really want to see what you got in the box. But I thought it's important context, blah, blah, blah. Because even a great watch is a poor buy at the wrong price. Okay, he's got a 2022 Omega Speedmaster, man on the fucking moon. This was the first luxury watch I ever noticed, and I lusted after one for 6 months before finding the right piece with box and papers. The classic Halcyon Speedy, to me, is the best watch ever made, even if it's not the most expensive. I agree with you that Omega makes too many flankers. This one is sentimental to me, given it was my first. He paid $5,000 in 2021. Next piece we've got here. Oops, what's going on here? Next piece we've got is a 1984 Omega Speedmaster, man on the fucking moon. I had the opportunity to get this one, so I leapt at it and had it serviced. I love its patina and great condition it's in. Paid 4,400. I think he's talking Aussie, including a service 2 months ago. He's got a Tudor 39mm Tudor Black Bay 58 tuner with box and papers. I've been pretty happy with this one. At the money I paid, it's amazing bang per buck and a nice classy diver. 3,400 in 2022. That's bloody good buying. Shit, that's good. Now, I'm just curious, do the other Omegas have box and papers? Because you didn't mention box and papers. What about on the 2021? Anyhow, you didn't, because you make a point of mentioning it on the tuner. Then we've got a Jaeger-LeCoultre. Now, this is actually, it's not actually a Jaeger-LeCoultre, it's a LeCoultre. or is it a Jaeger LeCoultre? What does it say? I think it's Jaeger. See, they had LeCoultre 37. Okay, so Jaeger LeCoultre 37 mil, solid 18 karat gold dress watch from 1942, recently serviced. This one is very special given its age. Check out the pic I've included. I think the punters would like it. Pay 2,200 in 2023. And he's also got a Longines. Look at this. This is a Longines Master Collection GMT World Timer. This was the first decent watch I ever bought, and it was to celebrate a milestone. Paid 1,300 in 2018. I have a few questions for you. Okay, let's begin the interrogation. Here we go now. Let's have a look at this here. He goes, I have a few questions. I'm especially keen to hear your opinion. Number one, obviously my collection lacks a Rolex. A Rolex. Yes, it does lack a Rolex. Definitely lacking Rolex. We're definitely missing a Rolex. I had a vintage date just for a while, but sold it. Which Rolex model do you think I should add to the collection as my first Rolex keeper? I'm considering an OP36 in green, a Starbucks, or a vintage 36 President. Are there any other options? I've got the money to pull the trigger, but can't decide which to get. Okay, now let's look at this. So what I would do, I'll be totally honest with you. You've already got, look at your existing collection. Now, we've got to ignore the Longines because that's it's not a luxury brand. The vintage LeCoultre. Yeah, it's, no, that's okay. The vintage LeCoultre is okay. But what I would say is you've got a chronograph in the Speedies. You've got two Speedies. So I would be tempted to get rid of one of the Speedies, keep I'd be tempted to say, okay, I got a chronograph and I've also got a diver. Now that's really interesting because one of the best bang per buck Rolexes is a Rolex Explorer 2. That's what I'd be getting. Explorer 2, black dial or polar, the white dial, doesn't matter. I would get an Rolex Explorer 2. That's because it's a sports watch. Then you've got a chronograph, a diver, and a Explorer 2. So that's what I would definitely, because you want to see what functions you've got there. That's how I would do it. Okay, number two, which of the Speedies should I keep and which should go? The 2020 is my first, but I love the vintage style of the 1984 and the patina. I'm having two Speedies. I think having two Speedies in the collection is a bit wasteful, and I think it's worth freeing up the money to flesh out the collection. Okay, fair coined. You know what? I'm actually, as we're doing this review, it just so happens I am wearing a 3861. I'm wearing my 3. Come on, focus. Come on. When doesn't he? Come on, focus. Come on. Oh, shit. It's a real bastard, this. You know, they never want to focus when you want them to, do they? They never focus. I could spend minutes, hours trying to get this bastard to. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, okay, that's my. Oh, there we go. Got the bastard to focus. There we go. That's my Speedy. I love this bracelet. I don't really love the bracelet on the 1861 that you have got there. But look, you know what? If it was me, which of the two would I keep? Which would I flip? It doesn't really matter. But I'd probably I'd probably shit. I don't think it matters. I'd probably my own feeling is I'd try and build up a new. I'd keep the 2020 a little bit newer. Doesn't really look. I love the bracelet on the 1984. I was in year 7, 1984. Any, mini, money, mo doesn't really. I'd probably keep the 2020. I'd get rid of the vintage. That's what I'd do. I'd piss the vintage one off. And I'd get a 42 mil Explorer 2. So you say, which of the Speedies should I keep and which should go? The 2020 was my first, but I love the vintage style. I think having two. Okay, so I agree with you. I'd be saying 2022. Doesn't 2020 is the one I would keep. So I'd get rid of the vintage one. Okay, but there's no real wrong. If you want to feel one way or the other. How is my collection going? Otherwise, do you have any recommendations on watches I should look at? I also like IWC and the Cartier Tank. As you can see, I've got space in my new watch box. Right now, it's a 5-piece feed, but I'm hungry for 8. Okay, so what I'd do is I'd probably get rid of one of the Speedies. I'd add an Explorer 2. I would probably add. I would be inclined to probably. I wouldn't be buying terribly much vintage. I think vintage can be a minefield. I'd probably be adding, instead of trying to get the numbers up, adding filler, I'd add quality. So my own opinion is I would be saying I'd add a reverso in the piece. So I'd add the Explorer 2, I'd add a reverso, I would add possibly a Breguet. I'd try and get rid. I personally think the Jaeger-LeCoultre, the vintage one, I think they can be problematic. It's a LeCoultre. It's not a. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with this because so many. Look, the vintage stuff can be problematic. Okay, it can be problematic. Yeah, it's actually, the movement is Marc Jaeger-LeCoultre. It is actually pretty yummy. Actually, I must say that is actually it's actually pretty nice. I'd stand a little bit corrected there. I'm just going to bring up the movement on the screen here. This is actually quite a nice piece. It is quite nice. I'm just going to bring that up. Here we go. This is the movement. That's actually quite beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so my advice to you is I'd probably stay away from buying more vintage. Just slow down, add slowly. You're only a young guy. Collection aside, okay, so that's what you're saying there. So I'd be adding, as I said, Rolex Explorer 2. I would add a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. I would add maybe a Breguet Type 20, a vintage. I mean, when I say I mean, pre-owned one. An IWC, you could add a Ingenua, you could add a Pilot Watch. There's a number of great pieces you could add there. Collection aside, will you please consider giving the punters what they want and making a sequel to your Spotify album, A Salesman Gone Mad? Now, that Spotify album, I had this real charlatan who contacted me and he wanted to do a record, get these things out there, and he was a real dodgy fuck. And I've never once received one royalty payment, but it gets my name out there, so I don't mind it. I don't mind it because of the fact that it gets my name out there. Keep up the good work, Arch. I think a lot of people miss the sarcasm and self-awareness in what you do, and that makes you a comic genius. If you're ever in Melbourne, please let me know, and please give me a shout-out to my friend Ben from Balaclava. I hope this provides some meaty content without being War and Peace. Thanks, Jake the Yuppie. Jake, thank you so much for that review. I think myself, every man does need a fucking Rolex. You've got to get Rolex, man. I'm sorry. I think the collection's developed nicely. But I would definitely be adding, get rid of one of the Speedies, add an Explorer 2, add a Reverso of some sort. Old vintage can be trouble to repair. But this one seems quite nice. It's nice. It's a nice piece, but I kind of prefer more modern. Okay, that's just my take on the fact. I prefer more modern. The Longines, stay away from that fucking garbage. Stay away from that fucking garbage. That's honestly my advice there. But nice collection for a young 29-year-old. You're so young. Yesterday when I was young. That's right, guys. But congratulate, you've got some. What I love in your collection is you've dipped your toes in. You got 2 Speedies. Okay, you can get rid of one. That's good. They're a good watch. Don't sell the tuner. The tuner, I love it. I love it with the blue. The 58 with the blue, absolutely superb. I love the Speedies. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel on it. I love the collection. I love it. I love it. Get rid of one of the Speedies, add an Explorer 2, add a Reverso later on, and then add a Breguet. I see this collection really blossoming. So well done, Jake. And thank you for seeing me in Melbourne. I love you, man. Guys, remember, I can't survive on Google Ads alone. Paid reviews keep me on YouTube. That's right, guys. Paid reviews help me survive. Please get a paid review done and keep me full-time on YouTube. Look down in the details, the description, and I look forward to doing your paid review soon. Hi, guys. It's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW, David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW. That's right, guys. Go to David SW.